Hello friends, this is Cauldron. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, where we're picking up after the 6.2 MSQ, ready to continue with a side quest that appeared here, Shadowed Past, that I wanted to check out. I think that's it for the side quest in the area, so we got Radiant Scout here. Shadowed Past, yeah, so there was an what were they called? They were the enemies that we first saw in Final Fantasy II. The amoebas, like that type of enemy. I think one of those just kind of blooped past at the end of the MSQ, at the end of that cutscene. Something has this Radiant Scout unnerved. Ah, Mistress Kakushu, you couldn't have appeared at a better time. You see, while out patrolling the city, I chanced to sight a voidsent. Yeah, I saw it. I immediately chased it down with the intent of eliminating it, but something about it struck me as odd. For one, it made no move to defend itself, but simply sat there, jiggling? Which is why, against my better judgment, I captured it instead. Okay, we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at your little jello monster. Sullen-eyed voidsent. So you weren't even... You're like a part of an amoeba. You're not even the full thing. Glowers in your direction, but says nothing. I mean, how would it? I guess it could blink Morse code at me or something. And it's a voidsent. It could magically emit sound. Here it is. Surprisingly docile, even when I captured it. There have been no reports of attacks prior to that. Even so, it's the nature of voidsent to prey on people for their aether. Perhaps it bides its time, waiting to carry out some manner of scheme. I mean, I kind of doubt it. You, yes, I remember you. You were at Troya. Please help me. Oh, okay. You were at the castle. What do you need help with? Oh, you do understand me. You're surprised. So, are you like... I guess the language is different. I understand the mortal tongue well enough, but I don't have a mouth to produce the sounds. It's been a struggle to convey my thoughts. How are you producing the sounds? But not anymore. You can help me. Yes, you can. So this guy isn't hearing it. Yeah, he just doesn't hear it at all. He's kind of cute in a ocular sort of way. When you and yours stormed the castle, I was caught up in the fighting and died. Sorry to hear that. In time I returned, but I tire of fighting, so I fled, using the gate to your world. Having just been reborn, however, my essence hadn't fully bound together yet, so when I emerged from the gate, I was as several sundered selves, so that's why you're like one eye out of an entire amoeba. Frightened and confused, they scattered. Following their trail led me here, my diminutive size allowing me to remain largely unseen. So, are we going to do like a scavenger hunt? But by the same token, I can do little more than sneak about. Each of us was weak and powerless. That's why we consumed one another in the first... Oh! That's kind of interesting. So you weren't... It's not like you were born that way. You were each little monsters, and you just kind of ate each other until you formed a big, happy, boring community. You wish to strike a bargain, then? What do you intend to do in this world? Because I'm open to helping you, but, you know, don't try to eat the king or anything. Or the satrap. Why, to live here, of course. I've always wanted to. We still remember the past, you see. Still remember when we were mortals. We long to have that life again. And they can, because just being in this world is enough to sate their etheric needs. So I'm open to it. We won't try to devour anyone, even when we're whole, we swear. I swear. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. You wish to learn more about the Void, yes? There's much we can teach you about those who rule its domains, about their past. I'm glad I went back and saw that. Ah, God damn it. No eating, no tricks. Do we have a bargain? Yeah. So it crossed over to our world to escape conflict and now searches for the rest of itself? I understand voidsent are quite reliable when it comes to fulfilling a pact, and I dare say having one as an ally would benefit our research into their world. Very well. If you would be so kind as to search for its kin, I will consult my superiors on how to best deal with them. Yeah, you can count on me. Me and my warrior self, because I forgot to change jobs back to Red Mage. By that, I think we have a bargain. Good, good. Okay, yeah, so we're trading... You're not getting any of my ether, but we're trading my knowledge, or my help in finding your lost body pieces, your lost buddies, in exchange for you enlightening me about the void. 4 others are close. Okay. Like me, the others have an interest in the lives of mortals. They're bound to be here in this city. So they're just interested in people. They're little anthropologists. The first one looks like is nearby. Wayward Hecti. So I guess it makes sense. There's 5 of you, so yeah, that makes sense. What's that? I asked you to search for me in exchange for knowledge about powerful voidsent. I was still wanting to see this and that, but I suppose a deal is a deal. I'm not sending you back to the void. I mean, you can still see this and that in a bit. Those men over there, soldiers, are they not? We used to have soldiers in our world too. Lots of them during the Contra Memoria. Ah, back from Weaver's boarding, are you? I hear you fought well against the voidsent that slipped through. Come now, I merely did my duty. Haven't we all sworn to protect our nation, no matter the cost? Oh, you're not talking. You're talking to the actual, like, the dangerous voidsent. Protect our nation. How familiar those words. Where was it that I heard them? God, we did the same head gesture. I didn't mean for that. Ah, yes, it was the early days of Contra Memoria. The enemy had conjured a terrible eidolon that laid siege to a fortress. The garrison was made up of ordinary soldiers, men and women with no remarkable abilities, but led by their valiant commander, they fought bravely and desperately. They had to last until the Memoriat arrived, the commander told them. Needed to hold out, no matter the cost. A Memoriat did eventually arrive, but not soon enough for the soldiers. So the Memoriats were like the superheroes, and the other soldiers were just like the regular police trying to survive Doctor Doom's attack until the Fantastic Four arrived. Having struck down the Eidolon, the Memoriat and his servant... The Memoriat and his servant? Interesting. So there's like a kind of a knight squire thing going on. Searched the castle for survivors. They found only the dead. Some of those have big hats. I like the big hat on the one... not on the one that's about 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock corpse. But just when they had given up all hope, a faint groaning reached their ears. They rushed over to the sound and cleared away debris. Find a lone survivor, the garrison commander. Instead of joy, however, the sight of the man filled them with anger. Why did it fill them with anger? Oh. Sensible steward, your soldiers are slaughtered to a man, yet there's barely a scratch on you. What's the meaning of this? How did you survive? You didn't hide away while they fought, did you? The Eidolon was savage, but mindless. It was a You did hide away. It was a simple thing to hide myself beneath fallen debris. What kind of commander are you? Hide? As a commander, you had a duty to your men. You were supposed to put their lives before your own. Spare me. My duty was to ensure the fortress stood, and it did. I think your primary duty was to ensure the fortress stood, but that's not the only duty that... But that duty was already accomplished. Like, hiding did nothing to enforce that. Once that duty was met, you have other duties to see to. If the choice were, do I ensure the fortress stands and my men die, or do my troops die, or Do I sacrifice myself with my troops and the fortress falls? Then fine, you made a tough choice. But it sounds like you just hid. Besides, my death would have achieved nothing. Honor be damned. No, I'm sworn to protect our nation, and to do that I must live. It isn't my fate to fall. It isn't my fate to fall here. If he's really saying that he could have contributed literally nothing on the battlefield, then fine, but I kind of doubt that's the case. Isn't your fate, you say? It's about to be your fate. I'm not mad. I'm a little mad, but not really at him. Is he merely unconscious? Ah. I guess he has really good armor. Come, let us bury the soldiers and their commander with... You're not going to bury him alive, are you? Fate shall decide what becomes of him, whether he lives or dies. Very well, my lord. Don't tell me you didn't bury him alive. No one deserves that. I don't care how heinous they are. That's what I believe anyway. You did bury him alive. He came back. Was this the Hektai? Funeral rites were later held for the fallen, but solemn tears quickly gave way to horrified screams as a body emerged from the earth. Commander, that is messed up. Oh, burial alive, really? Can't die. I must live, the man is said to have declared. The people thought him a demon, a disheveled horror, muttering curses as he wandered off to regions unknown. Scarmiglione, they called him. A name befitting his newfound grisly visage, a name befitting a monster. We're tracking down 4 Hektais. Are we getting background on all of the 4? No, there's 5 Hektais. Are we gonna get the 4 fiends background from these, and then once we rejoin, we'll get Golbez's background? That would be incredible. Also, Golbez was a cat boy. I mean, not Golbez, Scarmiglione. Wow. We thought we buried him deep. You were the Memoriat. But a mortal's desire is to live is not to be underestimated. You're immortal, so I expect you to understand that desire. Well, that concludes my tale. I had best rejoin my selves, if you'll excuse me. Ugh. I did not know this is what we were signing up for when I started this quest today. So got another Hektai hanging out at the club. I can't get over that was Scarmiglione, and he just, no wonder he was so all about hunger. He was just... It's a rough way to... It's a rough punishment. So this is where mortals consume ether. It's one of many places. Dreading loneliness more than hunger, how very like me. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to observe the mortals a while longer. Yeah. I don't think there was a time limit put on this. The food here is simply sublime. Why, I feel stronger with every bite, as if the Murga themselves were granting me their blessing. Food is tasty, that's true enough, but no food is so sublime as to be a substitute for proper training, my friend. Stronger with every bite... Oh, though, heck, that's stronger with every bite, every feed. For my part of the bargain, I will tell you how we voidsent become strong. Simply put, it depends on the quality and quantity of ether we harbor. Make sense? When the world was consumed by darkness, the heroes known as Memoriats arose as powerful voidsent. In contrast, the vast majority of mortals, powerless and unremarkable as they were become ordinary voidsent like me. So this, it's when the so the was the prior voids, the prior Hecti piece, or I guess at this point, was the prior segment of the Hecti just... Was that the sensible servant? That must have been. There were exceptions, of course, but one in particular I'll never forget. Scarmiglione. Never had I seen a voidsent so craven. Even when pushed to the brink of starvation, he would prey only on those weaker than himself. He subsisted on scant leavings and lived in constant fear and hunger. I don't blame him. I mean, if you're going to survive, then eating stuff that's weaker on you doesn't seem unreasonable to me. In a world where it's a weird analogy, but like it's sort of like how in those old MMOs where you lose experience on death, and the likes of EverQuest was my first dip into MMOs. It, for me at least, it made you play super cautious. There were very few times that I would be bold enough to go somewhere dangerous. It was usually about finding the best experience for the least risk. And as that mechanic went away, I'd get bolder. I would try exploring better stuff, exploring dangerous stuff, try more challenging content, because I wouldn't lose hours of work if I died. So, and when you have, you know, when the risk is high, you play cautiously. I don't blame Scarmiglione. It also makes sense with that backstory we heard of him. In the face of danger, a voidsent stronger than himself, fleeing was the only option. But a day came when he found his way barred. That's a cool voidsent image. Night in black, here we go. How pitiful. Such overwhelming ether! Who is this? You fled instead of facing your foe. Why? Why? I'm too weak. Why else? I would have been devoured. So had you enough strength, you would have stood your ground? Very well, then. Why give Scarmiglione this power? There's got to be plenty of scared and weak voidsent. What's happening? Yes, I feel it. The power swelling within... I love this design. Swelling within me. Lo, your foe returns. It's like a Death Gaze type enemy. Not exactly, but similar feel. And the Death Gaze got rocked. What have you done to me? I granted you but a sliver of ether. It was with the power you already possessed you defeated your foe. You just Dumboed his butt. You just Dumboed Scarmiglione. The magic was within you all along. You didn't need my magical feather. I possessed such power? Fear had clouded your eyes, blinded you to the strength you had attained, feeding on the weak. If you would free yourself from fear, then join me. You shall have a greater cause to live for and know true power. So, maybe what he was looking for was someone who had this gap between potential and, he had this large unfulfilled potential is what I mean. Because he's almost a teacher of sorts. He can bring it out and win their loyalty that way. A charismatic move. Heck, I watched. Curious how in a world without death, the fear of it could be the key to great strength. Yeah, I mean, he was the EverQuest player who kept leveling up, who kept basically grinding boars, and hadn't tried anything else in a while. He didn't know that he'd maxed out. The knight recognized this, recognized the voidsent's potential, and thus did he take him into his service. So we're not getting one on each of the 4 fiends. It seems like they're just focusing on these for the moment. Makes sense. We haven't seen Rubicante and Cagnazzo in any real way. Determined as he is to live, it wouldn't surprise me if he were still somewhere out there. Not anymore. I mean, no, he's not out there anymore. He'd be even more powerful now, I expect, from all the devouring he would have done since. Unlike your world, eating actually makes you stronger in ours. It makes you stronger here, but not that directly, I guess. Well, I must be going now. The others are waiting. Blah, 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 blah. That's what the hecti sound like when they move. They say blah, 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 blah. Oh, the next one must like to watch the airships. That's kind of sweet. Ah, what a refreshing breeze. To return to the others, well, they should come here. Pretty nice spot you picked. Would you look at this beautiful, boundless sky? Mortals take to the air from here, do they not? Would that I had wings to soar among the clouds myself. I like this voidsent. But we voidsent are not wont to roam, you see. The mightiest among us carve out domains, while the rest labor to stay in their good graces. Now, the master of a domain seldom ventures outside, for it is in one's territory that one is strongest. We saw that with Zero, at least. For some, however, such confinement proved trying, as was the case for a certain voidsent I know. Still going to be Scarmiglione? No, Barbariccia. I speak of of course, the free-spirited terror Barbariccia. When she first established her domain, she whiled away the days, waiting for her minions to bring her prey. Yeah, she's like a lion waiting on the lionesses to bring back the dinner. The aether amassed from these offerings were devoted to the singular pleasure of caring for her silky flowing locks. But the resources of her domain were not without their limits. It was only when none remained to oppose her that she realized she was a prisoner in her own domain, and unless she broke free, she would inevitably wither away, alone. So she had like a succubus model. Sort of. No, mostly. Not knowing what to do, she had fallen out of the depths into the depths of despair when the hand of salvation came to pull her out. At this rate, my precious hair will frazzle and fray, had I only the strength to leave my domain. If strength is your desire, that is easily granted. Gonna do the same Dumbo trick? Who are you? Ah, so much power surging within me. And what will you do with it? What is it you desire? What I desire is... You would move your very domain. Impressive. That I can do such a thing. What have you done to me? It's going to do the same thing. I granted you ether. So I take it back. It wasn't the Dumbo thing. I don't think so. I granted you ether, nothing more. It was your will that made it possible. He did give them raw power. It wasn't just a trick. But I think he's saying that I just gave you clay. The sculpture that is here isn't the result of the clay. I mean, it's not. The important part of the sculpture that's now standing in front of us isn't the clay I gave you. It's what you did with it. My will. Even so, no matter where you should go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be? Destination. I have no need of... Wait, was that... Who said that? No, that was the Knight in Black. Even so, no matter where you go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be? Destination? I have no need of such. I wish but to be free, like the wind. This is very much what Garuda said. Like, back when... when we saw her at the end of... on the way to Ultima Thule. Where she was like, you know what, I don't like these mortals, but as long as I can move freely, as long as I can be like the wind, as long as the wind moves freely, all is right. In a world that has met its end, rare indeed is the soul who desires freedom so ardently that she could will her very domain to move. Recognizing this quality, the knight would grant her more power and a place of command in his mighty army. He's not coercing these. He's not coercing these with domination. Golbez is showing real leadership. Like, he's finding out what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, helping them achieve their dreams through those strengths, helping them get past their weaknesses. Good job, Golbez. Even if she's a monster. I mean, it's hard to say because it's a world where pretty much the only people who could exist were monsters, so... Interesting. A story worthy of our bargain, I trust. Might have had more to tell had I not fallen off her domain. Seems you mortals also have a fondness for flying. I'd certainly like to try riding one of these airships of yours. But perhaps another time. My other selves will be a blubbering mess if I don't hurry and rejoin them. Yep, blah 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 blah. Goodbye, friend. Zero? Hello. The way the sky changes color with the passage of time. Probably a mundane thing to you, but to me it's a marvel. I dare say I won't soon grow bored of this in this world. Yeah, look at the magical rainbow in this sky. I'm teasing because as someone who came from the 13th, like, just watching the sky shift from night to day, even if the clouds hit it, it's got to be a wonder. The final Hecti, or the fourth Hecti. My other selves grow lonely, you say? My apologies. It was my intent to seek out the others, but I was distracted by the bickering pair of mortals yonder. My goodness, but there's been some colorful language. Yeah, everyone needs some good reality TV. To hell's with your father. You shouldn't need his permission to leave the goddamned house. But please mind your language. What would father say if he were to hear you? It's always father this, father that with you. I'm sick of it. You're your own woman now. Bloody act like one for a change. Colorful language, yes? Not from the girl. Oh no, she appears to be quite well bred. Yeah, I'm surprised you know the difference. I just hope she's oh no, I guess you were mortal, so of course you know the difference. I just hope she's happier than a girl I knew long, long ago. Or Barbariccia? That girl was born into a family of thugs who suddenly found themselves nobility. She was raised as a noblewoman and had servants tending to her every need, but in the end she was merely a beautiful bird kept in a gilded cage. This is absolutely Barbariccia. Wanting her to be... Watch, it's Rubicante. Wanting her to be a proper lady, her parents presided over all aspects of her life. They decided everything for her, telling her what to say and do. Chafing from the fetters of her restricted life, she solicited her handmaiden's aid. So you're the hand... I'm guessing... Excuse me. I'm guessing that the Hecti is the handmaiden. She solicited her handmaiden's aid and stole outside the manor where she enjoyed a moment of bliss, unbeknownst to her parents, or so she thought. It was not long before her father dragged her back to her room, barring the doors and windows, denying her even the simple pleasure of an afternoon breeze. So this would explain why she idolized the breeze and the wind, and why she why the idea of why her sense of using power was about movement and freedom of movement. Even the bird in the cage may chirp freely, but she wasn't even suffered to give voice to her desires. But she wouldn't be deterred. Having once tasted sweet freedom, she yearned for more, and one day she succeeded in sneaking out of the manor a second time. Beautiful daughter, you're late. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come. If you're expecting your friends, I'm afraid they're not coming. Father about to die. Father might be about to die. Father, what do you mean they're not coming? I had known that some miscreants were cavorting in these parts. But to think that they dare try to consort with my daughter, well, you needn't worry about them anymore. They're food for the fishes now. How could you do this, Father? Why must you torment me so? Know your place, girl. You are a means for our family to gain influence, and I won't have you sullying yourself with riffraff. You are riffraff, dude. You're the riffest of raff. Oh, yeah, you're gonna get Yahtzee-u'd. You will not leave your don't turn your back. If you're in the rain, coming across your daughter in a position where she might be angry at you, in a cutscene flashback, don't turn your back. That's a crucial lesson from this game. You will not leave your chamber save with my permission, nor will you disobey me again. If you do so, there will be severe consequences. I will bleed all over you from my backstab. Am I understood? I said, am I understood? To hell. What did you say? How is she going to do it? She's got to kill him. She's... An axe! Look at that thing! And they say botanist isn't a combat job. He said, go to hell! This is brutal. Holy... Did you see just the sheer physical... The shaking of the camera? How much... Oh my god, that was amazing. Go, dutiful daughter. Yeah. Next to the back. Smile, you deserve it. Oh, to think it could be so exhilarating to speak my mind. To do as I please. No more living in a cage. From this moment on, I am free. Free as the wind. The young woman struck out on her own, and in her travels discovered her true calling. Not in the halls of lords and ladies, but on the battlefield. She became a force of nature, famed for her striking beauty which belied a terrible savagery. And with this new life, she also claimed, a new name, Barbariccia. I am Team Barbariccia. That was great. That was so good. Instead, she found her freedom, but did she also find happiness? I wonder. Probably not. But it's a world where I don't know that there was much happiness to be had. At least after things changed. I don't know whether there was a happier path for her before. Like, after she made her dad into fish food. I suppose I'll never know. Nor does it matter, for the world that once was no more. Oh, but goodness me, I had better rejoin the others. Blub, 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 blub. Oh, look, they're all together. Are you gonna just jump each other? I don't know, how do you recongeal? Thank you so much for finding me. I hope the knowledge I had to share was worthy of our agreement. More than worthy, I'd say they told me of Scarmiglione and Barbariccia. How did you come to know the Archfiends? Yeah, we've heard from the others. My other selves lived quite disparate lives, both as mortals and voidsent, though I suppose it's rather fortuitous that they crossed paths with such powerful voidsent. But more importantly, what they could offer was worthy of our bargain. For that I am glad. Okay, so we still don't know the fifth. Like, if that fifth had any, but the other selves it was worth it. All that remains now is for us to rejoin and become whole again. Should I look away? Huh? Is this not all of me? No, Pentai would be a 5. Hectai is 6, isn't it? There can be no explanation. There's still more of me lost out there somewhere. But I don't sense them. Where could they have gone? You mean there's more of them wandering about by the sisters? At the very least, if what you say is true, they pose no threat to the people. Till the others can be found, we will keep these 5 under our care. I'll bet we get more in the future when we must get more in the future than, like, as we meet Cagnazzo and Rubicante and then Golbez. That is a neat way to deliver that story. I am happy I seen that. Wait, what did they say? Would you tell us of your recent ventures when you next return? I promise to make it worth your while. Yeah. How could I not be delighted to spend time with you? So, I was about to continue with a particular quest line. What is this? The Hero's Journey, which I must have picked up a while ago. I don't remember when exactly, but I just never got around to completing it, along with Wins the Heart Leads, which I think is one of the wrap-ups to the Nier quest. But I don't know if the Hero's Journey is going to be a short quest or a long quest. It sounds like this is from a little while back, so I'll probably do this next time, because this is something that my friend Rack suggested in the comments, checking out, because there might be some more stuff that came up in Endwalker. So I'm going to do this next time. And yes, this will be a little bit of a shorter one, and I am okay with that. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe if you want to see more. So I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.